You used to be able to eat anything, sleep on any surface, play a pickup game of basketball without needing 3 days to recover. Now, you pull a muscle reaching for the cereal on the top shelf. You make sound effects when you sit down. Sounds you swore you'd never make, sounds your father made. And don't even get me started on the mirror situation. When did your neck start doing that? Here's the thing nobody tells you about getting older. Your body doesn't send a memo. There's no meeting, no 2-week notice. One day you just wake up and realize you're living in a house that's falling apart and you're stuck with the lease. Your knees creak, your back protests. That stomach that used to be flat now has its own zip code. And every doctor's appointment brings some new word you have to learn. Presbyopia, osteopenia, benign but monitor it. You're not dying, you're just aging. And somehow that feels worse, because dying is dramatic. Aging is just a slow, relentless slide into, you should probably avoid spicy food. But what if I told you that some of the wisest people in history figured out how to not just tolerate their aging bodies, but actually accept them with dignity and even peace? The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they didn't have anti-aging creams or gym memberships. They had aching joints, bad teeth, and the same slow breakdown we're all experiencing. But they developed 5 principles, 5 practices that transformed how they related to their aging bodies. Not denial, not just think positive, real, practical acceptance. And here's the surprising part. These 2,000-year-old ideas work better than anything your dermatologist is selling. Now, quick disclaimer. I'm not telling you to skip the doctor or give up on your health. The Stoics saw physicians. They took care of themselves. But they also understood something we've forgotten. Your body is going to age. Fighting that fact is like fighting gravity. You're going to lose. The question is, can you age without losing your peace? Let's find out. Here's the first Stoic truth we forget. Stoic principle number 1. Your body is on loan. Marcus Aurelius used to remind himself every morning. You are a little soul carrying around a corpse. Cheerful guy, right? But here's what he meant. Your body was never really yours to begin with. You didn't design it. You can't stop it from aging. You're basically renting it for a few decades and eventually you have to give it back. Now that sounds dark, but it's actually incredibly freeing. Because if your body is on loan, then you can stop taking its decline so personally. Your knees are wearing out. Of course they are. You've been using them for 50+ years. That's not failure. That's mileage. Your skin is wrinkling. Yes, because skin ages. That's what it does. It's not betraying you. It's doing exactly what temporary mortal skin is supposed to do. Here's the practice. Every time you notice something new, a gray hair, a weird spot, a joint that didn't used to click, instead of panicking or spiraling into this is the beginning of the end, just say, this body is on loan. It's aging on schedule. That's not a tragedy, that's the deal. You don't get mad at a rental car for having miles on it. Stop getting mad at your body for doing what bodies do. Let's go deeper. Stoic principle number 2. Separate yourself from your appearance. Epictetus was a slave who became one of the greatest philosophers in history. He also had a permanent limp from an injury. His body was damaged, limited, not impressive by Roman standards. And yet he taught, you are not your body, you are the user of your body. Read that again. You are not your body, you are the person using your body. Your body is the vehicle, you are the driver. And here's the problem. Most of us have completely fused our identity with the vehicle. So when the vehicle starts breaking down, we think we are breaking down. Your worth isn't your waistline. Your value isn't your hair or your skin or your ability to fit into the jeans you wore in 1987. Here's the practice. Stand in front of a mirror. Yeah, I know. I'm asking you to do the one thing you've been avoiding. Look at yourself, all the parts you don't like. The sag, the wrinkles, the spots, the weight. Now say out loud, this is my body, it is not me. I am the awareness observing this body. Do this once a day for a week. It sounds woo-woo, I know, but it works because the truth is, you've been you your whole life even as your body changed. You were you as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, and you're still you now. The body changed. You didn't. You are not the car, you're the driver. And the driver is doing just fine. Here's where it gets practical. Stoic principle number 3. Focus on function, not form, Seneca wrote. It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult. Here's what he meant applied to your aging body. You're so focused on what your body looks like that you've stopped asking what it can still do. Your body doesn't look like it used to. Okay, can it still walk? Can it still hug your grandkids? Can it still taste good food, hear music, feel the sun? Then it's working, maybe not perfectly, maybe not like it did at 25, but it's working. Here's the practice, make a list. Seriously, get a piece of paper, title it. What my body can still do. Can you walk to the mailbox, hold a cup of coffee, read a book, laugh, taste chocolate, feel a warm shower, hug someone you love, write down everything your body can still do. Because I guarantee you're spending 90% of your mental energy on what it can't do anymore or what it doesn't look like anymore. The Stoics would say, that's insane. Why would you focus on loss when you still have so much function? Your body is not an ornament, it's a tool. And as long as the tool still works, even partially, you have something to be grateful for. Focus on function, not form. Now here's a practice that sounds strange, but changes everything. Stoic principle number 4. Practice negative visualization. Okay, this one sounds counterintuitive, but stay with me. The Stoics had a practice called premeditatio malorum, which is fancy Latin for imagine the worst thing that could happen. I know, your therapist probably told you the opposite. Think positive, visualize success. But the Stoics knew something modern self-help forgets. If you never imagine loss, you'll be destroyed when it comes. Here's how to use this for your aging body. Once a week, spend 5 minutes imagining what it would be like if your body stopped working. Not in a morbid way, in a grateful way. What if you couldn't walk? There are people who can't. What if you couldn't see, couldn't hear, couldn't use your hands? Imagine it, really imagine it. Then open your eyes and realize I can still do those things today, right now. Suddenly that achy knee doesn't seem so tragic, does it? Your body isn't perfect, but it's working. And one day it won't be. So maybe today you could appreciate what you still have instead of mourning what you've lost. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He'd remind himself, you could leave life right now, not to depress himself, to wake himself up. Your aging body isn't the enemy. It's the reminder that you're still here, still breathing, still able to experience life. That's not something to resent. That's something to treasure. And here's the one that ties it all together. Stoic principle number 5. Age with virtue, not vanity. Here's the big one, the one that changes everything. Seneca wrote to a friend, let us not worry about living long, but living well. Living well is the only thing that matters. You're going to age, that's non-negotiable. The only question is, what kind of person are you going to be while you age? Are you going to be bitter, vain, constantly chasing youth you can't get back? Or are you going to age with virtue, with dignity, with wisdom? The Stoics believed in 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Notice what's not on that list: physical beauty, youthful appearance, a tight jawline. Because those things fade. They're temporary. They were always going to fade. But wisdom, that grows, courage, that deepens, compassion, patience, kindness. Those get better with age. Here's the final practice. Every morning, ask yourself, how do I want to show up today? Not, how do I want to look today? How do I want to show up? Do you want to be the person who complains about getting old, or the person who embraces it with grace? Do you want to be the person obsessed with erasing wrinkles, or the person who earned those wrinkles through laughter and life? Do you want to be known for how you looked, or how you loved? Your body is aging, but your character, that's entirely up to you. And the beautiful irony, when you stop obsessing over your appearance and start focusing on your character, you become more attractive anyway. Not in a physical sense. In a human sense, people are drawn to wisdom, to kindness, to someone who's comfortable in their own aging skin. That's the person you can become. If you choose virtue over vanity, look, your body is changing. That's not up for debate. You can fight it. Spend a fortune trying to look 30 when you're 60. Torture yourself every time you see a photo. Avoid mirrors, beaches, and anything that reminds you that time is passing. Or you can do what the Stoics did. Accept the loan agreement. Separate yourself from your appearance. Focus on function. Practice gratitude for what still works, and age with virtue instead of vanity. Marcus Aurelius died at 58. His body failed him, but his words, his character, are still here 2,000 years later. Your body is temporary, but who you become while you're in it, that's what lasts. If this shifted how you see your aging body, even a little, I'd be honored if you'd subscribe. This channel is for those of us who refuse to buy the anti-aging BS and want real wisdom for real life. One more thing before you go. Seneca said, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." How much time have you wasted hating your body, wishing it were different, avoiding life because you don't look the way you used to? Your body is aging. That's happening whether you accept it or not. The only question is, are you going to waste what's left resenting it, or are you going to live? You're stronger than you think, and more than your body gives you credit for. If you know someone, maybe your age, maybe older, who's learning to accept their aging body, share this video with them. Sometimes the most stoic thing we can do is remind each other. We're all in this together, and it's okay to not look 25 anymore. Thanks for being here. Take care of yourself, the whole self, not just the reflection. And remember, you are not your body. You're so much more than that. Timeless wisdom for a restless world. See you in the stillness.